Okay, we got the RevoNext QT3 quad driver in-ear earphones. 2 dynamic drivers, 2 balanced armature. Deliver superior sound quality. Okay, we'll see about that. Very small, simple box. I don't know what this flag is. Looks like Sweden. Oh, designed in Sweden. Okay. Thought this came from Sweden. It's a 2-pin, as I can see, which is cool because upcoming I've got, yeah, buddies, balance too. And then for the people that got MMCX, you guys have been asking for recs. I can do custom rec for that guy that's gonna hook me up, and I can do off the shelf, but I gotta try it first, and that might be the one. So let me go ahead and take the plastic off this. Okay, plastic off, push out tight, pull it out. RN, I guess that's RevoNext. It's got a little, okay, that came off pretty easily, so I hope that was not important. Please well read the manual before using. I'm gonna go ahead and be a crazy dude and skip that. See if I can get a close-up look right here. Don't know if that is a functional back mesh or not. I guess I'll figure that out by putting my fingers over it. So you got the 2 buds right there, and then you've got probably large and small tips, and then you probably got mediums on. That's pretty standard. They put the mediums on the buds, actually. I'm assuming that this is going to be a cable. No? And it is. And okay, I can tell you right now, right off the bat, that I don't like this cable. You guys just saw a video where I did, and I told you that I like the snake. This is, I guess I'd call this the spider web. It's 2018. I don't think any companies need to be using this anymore. I can understand there was a, I don't know what, no, okay, I'm lying. I don't understand. The cable that comes with the TRN V80, which is very supple, soft, easy to manage. There's enough cables out there that are of reasonable quality that probably bought in bulk are not so different in price from this. So moving along. I haven't done anything funny with this, actually. I took it out, got that, and I'm going to lower it and try to coil it like I would coil. And there is the version of the coil. I'm just not cool with that. There's too many affordable IEMs that have nice cables. Did they send these to me at the same time as they sent this? It's quite possible that they did. Are you annoyed that I'm 4 minutes in and I'm talking about cable? This is my channel, man. I'm a cable slut, cable whore. I take a whole stroll every time I look at a nice cable. It's too easy to get your hands on decent cables. Now moving on, 4 minutes 25 seconds. They got some weight to it. Feels like a kind of a steel. I would guess that these in fact are the medium tips that I was imagining that they probably were. I'd take that off of there, take a closer look. These remind me of the ZSA, KZ-ZSA, I think they're called. They're relatively small. This is my index finger, and I can almost hide it. I'm not a big fat finger dude either, so these are pretty small actually. That can be a good thing and a bad thing. Mesh seems pretty standard. It also seems like there's material behind the mesh. If you can see that white, like there's a fabric, which might be related to tuning, which might turn out to be a good idea or a bad idea. So that's how that looks. And then on the side it's got a RevoNext QT3. Interesting font that they use right there. I thought somebody etched that in. That's kind of cool. Recess 2 pin. Again, does this do anything? I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and have a listen to it. Okay, I got Hey 19, Steely Dan, Donald Fagen, and also background singers, like a chorus in this song. And Donald Fagen's voice sounds clearly back, and they sound forward because they're singing at a higher tone, like a cappella. They're singing in the upper register of the male voice. Donald Fagen singing in like a spoken voice almost. That's pretty much the way he sings. He sounds distant. They don't. But before that, what I noticed was the snare drums. They sounded very short, like the harmonic extension of the snare drums was cut off, which would be maybe the bass is rolling into the mids. Remember, bass guitar is in the bass, but it goes all the way up into the treble. The highest harmonic portion of the highest note on a bass guitar actually transfers from the bass all the way across the mids into the early treble. People talk about mids sometimes, and I talk about vocals only. Bass guitar, if the bass is not elevated or is elevated too far, you can tell because stuff that is in the bass is going to sound, for example, a bass guitar is going to sound incomplete because maybe the upper chord is not really even coming in because of the way the recess is making that seem not there relative to what's before it. This would be the treble. The treble has a lot of that kind of it sounds like detail, and the bass has got kick, but it doesn't have the full body of a kick drum event. Like the kick drum itself doesn't sound natural, and the bass guitar sounds slightly unnatural. And vocals of males at the same time, which would be Donald Fagen plus maybe two other male singers in the group, singing at a higher register, they sound very close because of the way of the tuning is, and Donald Fagen, because he's singing in a lower octave, it sounds further back, more than he usually does. These would be really a great example of a V-shaped signature. Right here. These would be V. I've heard other people talk about V's like the TRN-80. I really... a natural curve usually has a slight dip around the mids, unless we're talking about planar or audiophile studio-tuned IEMs that are pretty flat from the bass to the mids. It's not unusual for mids to be slightly recessed. These sound like they're slightly recessed, and maybe there's another abnormal cavity somewhere that's not in regular tuning, because this sounds like it's got impact in the bass, but there's an issue right after that. Something doesn't sound right. And this sounds like it's got the hi-hats, but they'd sound a little bit sharp and unnatural, and maybe something just before that is not there. So there's a tuning issue with these. And to make matters worse, it's got a cable that is it's tangled up right now on the stand of this camera. I can't wreck these. I appreciate the company that sends me stuff. I don't have a link for this item yet, and I'll put it in when I get it. This will be an example of what I don't wreck. I don't mind V signatures. I really don't. Mid's not there, unacceptable, but a slight dip to emphasize something else. Like I said, I think that the ones that I reviewed before were kind of L-shaped. They had a kind of up bass, and the mids and treble were not really. That was the DMGVP, I think. I actually have those right over here. These are on my. So what happens to stuff later? These are actually on a Mini XLR, so I'm still going through my paces with these, and I still love them. Not changed my mind at all. And I wrecked those right away. I don't know what the price of these are. I check after, but because people can get coupons and it's a very competitive site with AliExpress stores battling each other, saying a price might eliminate somebody and move them to another shop, whereas the shop that's sending me stuff might actually have a sale today, and I'm not sure because I don't check them every day. So check yourself. I won't even guess. The cable's total garbage. I can tell them right now in the future, if you guys have IEMs with cables like this, I'm not. This is a mess. This is going to go in the box where I put stuff that I don't deal with anymore. If you want a comparison between something, let me know quickly, because these are not going to be in an area where I can get it very easily for very long. I'm not a fan of these. Somebody brought these up and asked these compared, and I'm a little surprised. These are the QT3s. I also have the QT2s, so that maybe is going to be different, but these are clearly V-shaped. They've got a really bad cable, and there seems to be information lost due to an abnormal, not a spike, a cavity. Something is gone. I don't know where that is, but my ears are picking up a song I know well, playing playback different. And also, the stage is quite small on a track that's pretty average in its presentation normally. It's not a wide open, Peter Frampton live. It's not a studio mixed Superdome Boston foreplay. It's been such a long time. But it is a fairly spacious, you pick out the instruments, separation between instruments, good playback of vocals. The vocals kind of key this out, because I can hear Donald Fagen back, and I can hear the two guys that are singing at a higher tone forward because of their singing in a higher tone. Usually the placement is not like that, that these two guys are in front of Fagen. Is not usually the way it is. Usually Donald Fagen's up here, and they sound like they're singing background, which is what they're actually doing. They're singing background. And on this set, oddly, he sounds back, and the two singers that are singing at a higher range, a cappella, like, are forward. It's a very odd switch, but it's related to the curve and what is being emphasized and what is being de-emphasized by the tuning. And there is some kind of a cavity causing something. As typical, I don't check online because I really don't want to parrot what other people say. I don't know what the consensus on this is. Somebody asked me to review it. In the comment section, I got to say, if it was the QT3 that was mentioned, not the 2, I don't know. Not a fan at all. Not my thing. This is too much of not great tuning, and the cable is just nightmarish. I was thinking to introduce. This is not this one, which would be the 2-pin. But it's not going to change the sound. And another thing to note about these, when I was putting this in, that is a little bit. We're going to get this? No? You're going to play with me? Alright, I play with you. That is long. That's a 0.78, I believe, but that is long. So I'm hoping. I don't care. I'm sorry. I was hoping. If these were really awesome and I wanted to use aftermarket cables, I think, I hope the regular ones, because if you look at this, and then you look at this, you can see that these are not quite the same. In fact, these look to be almost double the length. So is this going to reach down to where the connection is? In this case, I don't care. I'm not even going to connect these to this one. lack of professionalism on my part, not giving these enough time to burn in, yada yada. If I listened to these in a store, I would pass and move along. So I would advise you, I won't wreck them. I'll just leave it at that. This is not my thing at all. These people have been very good to me. They don't say, do something good or say something positive. So I've got that freedom. And exercising that freedom right now is that these are a set that come with a cable that is really, really, really not necessary. There's other options out there that must be affordable when they're bundled. This is just a mess. It doesn't look nice. It's not appealing. It's not functionally any better. I don't think cost-wise there's so many cables out there, and I haven't found one like this and since I've started dealing with Chi-Fi gear. This has got to be the worst. You know it when it's bundled like that and pinched in the middle that you're going to run into this. It should be wound like those are in the plastic right there. So I would rec that you skip these. If you're a fan of these, we don't listen to music in the same way. These actually sound like they're missing something. So I'm going to leave it at that. 16 minutes, that's way too long. But that's what the fuck I do. It's my specialty is rambling. Somebody said you should do a podcast. I kind of do, don't I? I mean, this is kind of what that is. This is not what I like. I wouldn't recommend it for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and put this up.